did my shahada over there with brother Hashim.
Okay.
And since then, been obviously learning my faith,
Alhamdulillah.
trying to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing my prayers, just literally just itching away at trying to,
MashaAllah.
to live the best life back.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And what I've noticed on the way is there's a lot of divide between the Muslim community. And I don't understand it personally.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because I'm just a complete outsider,
yeah.
and I'm just like, well, this is what I've chosen,
No,
this is how it should be.
Even me myself, sorry to cut you, akhi,
No.
even myself happened to me. I was not practicing all my life, okay? I went to prison 2005. When I started practicing, okay, when I come out of prison, and I didn't know for all the Muslims are one. Then I remember I was in Labo Grove. This a friend of mine that I knew him before I went to prison. His story is a funny story because he was a Shia, you know, and I gave him da'wah. He became Sunni and he was practicing, became practicing more than me. And you know, I was not practicing, I was just to pray. Then he started learning about Islam. He had more knowledge than me. Then he would start giving me da'wah, and he used to tell me stay away from so and so. And I said to him, brother, what's this? We're Muslims, man. Why does he stay away from so and so? So once he said stay away from this, he got me angry. I said, Akhi, it's too much, man. Stay away from everyone. Only you. You know, I had that mentality. Then he said to me, look, he noticed that was too much for me. He said, look, alhamdulillah, go learn and study. Go learn and study. So what I did, I started learning. So what I'm going to come from the angle of what you see now, brother, exactly what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said. That is a prophecy that has been prophesied by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. How? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there's a hadith in Sahih Bukhari. You're familiar with these books, yeah?
I'm getting this.
Yeah, source. This is yeah, hadith sources. There's many. The Bukhari, because it's hadith, remember, 23 years messenger, you know. So there's many narrations from him. So he, and Bukhari and Muslim, there's many sources. All of these hadith I'm going to refer to, all of them shares the same. Yeah, you want to just put them here?
I'm too cold, I'm doing that.
There's too many hadith. All of them point out or point towards that it was going to come a time the ummah will split up. Okay? Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, the Jews have split it up and the Christians have split it up, and it will split up. There will be 73 groups. All of them deserve to be punished with the fire except one. They said, who are they, O Messenger of Allah? He said, one on today and my companion. Well, you have to understand, akhi, when the Prophet Muhammad mentioned that the Muslims, they were one ummah, one nation, in belief and methodology. They don't have different beliefs. The time of Abu Bakr, the same thing. The time of Umar ibn Khattab, the same thing. The time of Uthman, the same thing, until he was killed. He was killed by the rebellions, those who tried to rebel against him. So that caused what? Division. People call, some people call Khawarij, Kharijite. Yes, Kharijite, Khawarij in Arabic, Kharijite in English. Prophet Muhammad prophesied about them, and he said to Ali, to his cousin, he said, you will kill them. And the proof for that is one of them, he has 4 arms being cut off. Okay? So what happened after Uthman was killed? This Kharijite came out. The Kharijite, they used to believe that if you commit sin, we will take you out of fold of Islam. If you commit a major sin, you're not a Muslim anymore. If you die upon that, you're going to hellfire straight away. Okay? Then the reaction of that, Shia came out. Okay? Shia came out, Abdullah ibn Saba. Then another group. So let me make it clear. So there's one body. They're still holding to what Prophet Muhammad said, the companions. So one group left the main body. Khawarij, Kharijite. Then Shia. Then another group called Qadariyah. Qadariyah, who does not believe Allah, does not believe in the predestiny. Okay? Then another group called Al-Mu'tazila, Al-Jahmiyah. Al-Jahmiyah, those who are affected by Greek logic, philosophy. They start negating Allah's names and attributes. Okay, based upon the argument that they try to use to prove Allah's existence. Okay, I've spoken about that. Then Al-Mu'tazila, they were affected by Al-Jahmiyah, Jama'. Anyway, many groups came out, but there's still group holding to the main body. So what's happening now? The Muslims, what they do, instead of thinking, okay, Prophet Muhammad prophesied about what's happening now. Because alhamdulillah, Quran has been preserved. The Sunnah has been preserved. The way to understand the Quran, the Sunnah, is the way of the pious predecessors. The 3 generations who called what? As-Salaf al-Salih. Salaf al-Salih mean pious predecessors. So what happened, let me just bring you back to the beginning. So when the early Sahaba, Prophet Muhammad's companion, noticed they're splitting. So their students, the two of the companions, and their students start writing what is the correct belief of the Muslim according to the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who Allah and the Prophet Muhammad told us to follow them, in order for the Muslim layman to not get confused. You with me?
Yeah.
So now when you look, so what is upon us now to do, my brother, is to learn and study step by step. That's why the first thing to study is Aqidah, belief. What is the correct belief of Ahl Sunnah? What is the correct belief of a Muslim? Okay? Now when they start writing the books, they start warning against the other groups. Okay? So these students are the students of the Prophet Muhammad's companions, yeah? Now, that's why even in knowledge, we don't take knowledge from anyone. You have to take knowledge from scholars who are known to study under scholars, and you take it back to Prophet Muhammad. That's why there's a saying in Arabic language. They say, لا تأخذ العلم عن صحفي ولا تأخذ القرآن عن مصحفي. Do not take a knowledge from someone who only studies from books. Okay? Don't take the Quran from someone only reading from the book. Because Quran, there is rules of pronunciation, you know? So you have to take it from the teacher, who takes it from the teacher, and it goes back to Prophet Muhammad directly. So everything is clean. You know, we can trace back our belief. We can trace back our Quran. We can trace back the Prophet Muhammad tradition. We can trace back the understanding of the Prophet Muhammad. Why? Because logically speaking, Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet. And Quran is the last revelation. Okay? Now, Allah, without any doubt, He will preserve the correct and the people that have the correct understanding. That's why Prophet Muhammad said they will not be destroyed, these people. Sorry, the hadith goes on. It will be a group of my ummah, a group of my nation, not the whole Muslims, a group of my nation. They will be manifesting upon the truth. They will not be harmed by those who oppose them or those who betray them until Allah's promise will come to pass. In another narration, who are they, O Messenger of Allah? He said, well, I'm on today and my companions. In another narration, Prophet Muhammad said, he said, stick to my sunnah and the sunnah of the rightly guided khulafa. That's why, brother, I always mention to the brothers and sisters in Islam, if you listen to the brothers here in the park, you don't hear what I say all the time. I always tell the brothers, study, learn, and read the books of the Salaf. Book of the Salaf, the books that was authored by the student and the students of the companions of the Messenger of Allah, which gives you clear criteria to know who is following the truth, who is not. So, the splitting that you see, Prophet Muhammad spoke about it. Rather, what you see now, from the signs of the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad. Yes, splitting is a disease. Divide is a disease, no doubt about that. But akhi, that will occur because people like to mix their culture with Islam. For example, people pushing that from Islam for the daughter to marry someone doesn't like. That's not Islam, that's your culture. You can't know. Islamic.
Make it easy.
That's it, yeah. You make it easy. If the marriage making it easy, yeah. So, for example, people try to, because there's no problem with your culture. Are you English person? As an Englishman, as an Englishman, there's no problem with the culture as long it doesn't oppose God's teaching. You know, rather, a culture of the people in Islamic teaching, sometimes it can be a part of Islamic legislation. For example, how to be good to your wife, or how to take care of your parents. In some culture, if your father is speaking to you and you look at him at his eyes, that's disrespect. In some culture, if you look down, it's disrespect. You see what I'm saying? So what is the culture comes in and define how to respect your parents. Either is English culture. For example, as an Algerian, I cannot come to English person. I said, look, the way to respect your parents, there is some stuff we agree upon universally. But there is some stuff, English person said, listen, sorry, this is your culture, but in our culture, the way we respect parents, we have to do this, you know? So sometimes the culture or Pakistani culture, so sometimes the culture can be part of the Islamic legislation, you understand? However, some people, they mix the culture and the claiming from Islam, which clearly go against Islam teaching. Forcing the daughters, for example, killing of the honor, they call it.
Honor killing.
Yeah, honor killing. So honor killing. That's not from Islam. That is a Judaic teaching. That is a Bible teaching. the Bible teaching that if a man rape a woman, he must marry her. That is not the Islamic teaching. You know, some people they think that is Islamic teaching. Guess what? In my country they do that. In Morocco, I don't know about now. That's what I used to hear when we were young. If someone rape a woman, or you have it's not just a rape, I had zina of fornication. Both of them they agreed with it. They said, listen, you have to marry her now. Okay, if they're happy, alhamdulillah, they make tawbah. But the worst one when he rapes her, and you tell him she's a victim here, and you
marrying her
she's marrying her the rapist. That is not Islam. That is not Islam. So that's why people like to follow the desires, and Allah mentioned that in the Quran. That's why, you know, brother, when you see these differences, that's what happened to me in the beginning. But when I start learning, studying the books, Usul Sunnah, this Usul Sunnah mean the principles of the belief of the Muslim, based upon the Quranic teaching and the prophetic teaching. You know, me myself, I came from a sect called Sufism. Okay.
I saw you in a video.
Yeah, Sufism, and when you speak to your family back home, you know, everything about my grandmother, your uncle, your grandfather, you know, it's not about Allah said, Prophet Muhammad said. So my story is a brother that gave me a book to read. When I read it, Allah said, Prophet Muhammad said, the companion said, that's Islam. But Sufism, your grandfather saw a dream. Your grandma, bro, that's not Islam. That's everyone sees dream. I see dream as well. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah. So is that clear so far? Yeah, alhamdulillah. So that's why, you know, alhamdulillah, even us, we have classes, brother. And I always advise the brothers and sisters here, if you're going to come speakers corner, listen to people who are upon a clarity, who are teaching the people, not for the sake of entertainment. Because we're going to meet Allah. This knowledge of Islam is not just knowledge of entertainment. No, this knowledge is a heavy knowledge, you know. A knowledge that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Quran and the Sunnah for us to implement it in our life. You cannot be taking it as entertainment or as a tool to get many views, to make money from it. No, it's not a joke, bro. That's why I always ask people, look, because brothers sometimes ask me, what is the problem between you and the brother so and so? And I said, look, leave that aside, go learn, study. Because maybe if I tell you the problem, maybe I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? So what you do, read the Quran, because me and the brother, we go against each other because of Islam, yeah. So let us use Islam and see who is following Islam and who is opposing the Islamic teaching. Like one guy said, look, the non-Muslims will be happy to see Muslims fighting against each other. I said that's incorrect. Do you know why? If there is a personal fight, yes, personal fight is haram. You cannot boycott your brother more than 3 days because of personal issues. But if it's an issue, I believe the brother is corrupting the teaching of Islam, then I step in and I advise him. If he's not listening, then I refute him, or I give him nasiha, advice, and I establish truth. Rather, the non-Muslims, who not every non-Muslims, the like of this David Wood and the Islam haters, they will not be happy because they can see clearly we are here to establish truth. Yeah. They're not going to be happy with that. They will be happy if both us will keep quiet. Because why? No one is going to clarify the truth to layman. That's why it's upon us to clarify the truth to the layman. Sorry if we're talking too much, man.
No.
Sorry.
At the end of the day, there's no point in asking questions. There's no need to ask the questions.
Yeah. Barakallah fiqh. Yeah.
I said I had a few questions for you. You have gone through the majority of what I wanted to ask.
Alhamdulillah.
So, down to the nitty-gritties, really, like the small things, which technically could become big things. Who knows? Depends on how you look at them, right?
Sahih.
So, the way I look at it is, I chose to be a Muslim. I chose to reconnect to my Creator.
Alhamdulillah.
So I'm also choosing to live life the way Prophet, peace be upon him, has explained life to be.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
Why do I hear so many brothers and sisters, especially influencers on YouTube and things like that, talking about birthdays, the holiday periods in the Western lands, things like why? If we're Muslim, why are we entertaining these what we know to be pagan beliefs?
Yeah, that's correct.
So I'm also hearing it from learned people. That our birthdays are not haram. To celebrate a birthday is not haram. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't have candles. You know, that's candles, bro. Come on, man.
It's like a brother told me, it's like go nightclub, but don't look inside, look outside.
You can hold a bottle of alcohol, just don't drink it.
That's a good one. I
don't understand it. Like I said, it might be a form of ignorance or arrogance. I don't know.
No, that.
I feel like I could have not chosen. I could have done my own thing. I could have carried on my own little way.
Yeah.
But I've chosen to do this.
Alhamdulillah, Allah
People
Akbar.
don't choose not. You know, people choose to stay in it.
Yeah.
So if you're raised Muslim, I don't see it as an excuse that, oh, you know, I was made like to be like this, because you don't have to. There's no compulsion.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't get it. Why have we got such a laxed attitude towards things like that?
The problem with the what they call it, the birthday and all of that you have mentioned. Again, I take you back to the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu. So what you see, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about it. He said, لَتَتَّبِعَنَّ سَنَنَ مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلَكُمْ شِبْرًا بِشِبْرٍ. You will follow the path of those who came before you, step by step. حتى ولو دخلوا جحر ضب لدخلتموه. Even if they go through the hole of the lizard, you go through it. Another narration, look how dangerous it is. Another narration, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, even if one of them will have an intercourse openly with his mother in the street, you will do it too. To show you the Muslims now, they are going to, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about this issue. So when you see that, first you say, Alhamdulillah, Allah protect me from that. Secondly, we make dua for them. We say, may Allah guide them. You know, you pray for them. Thirdly, of course, you as a believer and believer, we get upset to see that. Our brother is talking about birthday, which is a pagan day. It goes back to paganism, you know?
I think it's like the most holy Satanist.
Yeah, it's a paganism day, no doubt about that. It goes back to the Greek, to the Romans, you know, the cakes and, you know, all of that. So, thirdly, I mentioned that many times, inferiority complex. Inferiority complex, a lot of Muslims suffering from it. They think if I don't do it, they're going to look down on me. Yeah. Or I have to please them, okay?
Sorry to cut you, but
go
I
for
heard the excuse of my children might resent me.
Yeah, you see? You see? Wallahi, you teach your daughters, listen, my daughter, I love you. I'll buy you gifts every day. Yeah. Understand? Make sure, as Ibn Uthaymin said, make sure you take care of your daughters. Buy them gifts. Your children, buy them gifts. Because why? When you tell her when you tell her birthday, she's not going to think, maybe my father is stingy. That's why he doesn't hate me now. Saying, maybe he hates birthday. He don't want to spend no money because I know him. But when you tell, look, every day I buy stuff for you, understand? I'm not utilizing it as something because I'm stingy. You know, I'm greedy. So when you show her that, look, every day I'm buying stuff for you, taking care of you, you know? So when you teach her, I tell you this, you know, my daughter, her friends would come for a birthday. My daughter, you know, she said, no, we don't come for birthday because we're Muslims. Birthday is a pagan day. Straight away, you know, she said straight away. You know, straight away, alhamdulillah, because what I teach her, I said, look, you don't have to, we're not disrespecting you. And what they say, when you say, they say, why you don't want children to be happy? Yeah. Do I have to do a pagan day? You know what I'm saying? Do I have to do a pagan day to make them happy? I can make them happy without a pagan day. You know, why I'm going to do a pagan day? I can make them happy by taking them to fun fair, taking them to the seaside, you know, taking them to restaurants. Why I have to follow up like Christmas Day? I remember I had a friend of mine, my neighbor, I told him he's not a Muslim. So I told him the same thing about Christmas. He said to me, but brother, we have to make them happy. So I said, okay, do I have to celebrate Christmas to make them happy? He's like, he said, but then he said to me, no, everyone's doing it. That is a sheep mentality. The sheep, you know what? Muslims are not sheep. True Muslims are not sheep. Do you know why? You know sheep mentality, how it started? It started by one of the psychologists. He did what? He brought a woman. He put, by the way, I'm just gonna this side point, yeah. But it's very good to understand that. He brought a woman inside the room, yeah. And so they turned on the alarm, and there was smoke coming out under the door. Naturally, from our nature, to run away because there is what? Fear, you know. So what they did again? They brought her again, and they brought 9 people with her, and they told those 9 guys, listen. It's just experiment. Yeah. So do not run. If you say the alarm goes off and the smoke are coming out, do not run. It's experiments, yeah? But he didn't tell her, so she doesn't know. So they're sitting down, she starts seeing the smoke coming out under the door, the alarm is going off. Instead of running, what she started doing, start following. You see? That's what happened. That when they start, this is called what? This is sheep mentality. And there's another experimentation was done in one of the universities, sorry. They brought these guys, 10 of them, yeah? So they told 9 of them about the plan. And one of them, they never told him. They're going to draw lines, okay? And they said to them, the shortest line, all of you say the shortest line is the tallest one. The shortest one is the tallest one, yeah? So that guy, they asked him first, what is the tallest line? He said number 1, because the number 10 line, it was the shortest line, yeah? Then they asked the rest, everyone said number 10, number 10. Clearly he can see, he's the shortest one. They asked him again, he said number 10. So people try to say, we Muslims have sheep mentality. No, because in the Quran, the prophets and messengers, they were known to go against their societies. They would not follow their societies because they were doing it. So the prophets and messengers, they never had sheep mentality. And we are a follower of the prophets and messengers, and the last of them is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why when he saw the people worshipping idols, he did not say, they are worshipping idols, let me worship them. No. People start burning their daughters alive. So people to accuse us as having a sheep mentality, that is no way for us. Because we follow prophets and messengers who were known in history to go against their societies, not for the sake of going against it, because they know the truth is with them. You know? So what's happening? That's one of the reasons. The other reason, they get scared that the non-Muslims say to them, you're living in Britain or in France, so you should, if you want to coexist, you should do it. You should. But that is a wrong way. You know why? That is incorrect. You know why? There's many Christians in Egypt. There's many Jewish people in Morocco. We don't say to the Jewish people in Morocco and the Christians, do Eid day, slaughter the sheep, or the atheists. You see? I don't have to, for me to coexist with you, I don't have to share the same days with you. We can coexist, I'll help you, I'll lend you money, I'll take care of you, everything without doing a pagan day, you understand? So that's one of the reasons, you know? So the reason is, but inferiority complex, there's some of the ignorance, but like you said, you mentioned one of them, the worst thing now is so-called learned man. They are justifying a birthday and justifying pagan days. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ again, he spoke about that. He said that it will come, he said what Prophet said, he said the hadith Sahih Muslim, the hadith of Amr ibn al-As, Muslim Bukhari, I believe in Bukhari, sorry, Amr ibn al-As. He said about the knowledge will be taken away from the land. Not by snatching it from the chest of the people of knowledge, by the death of the scholars. حتى إذا لم يبقى عالم اتخذ الناس جهالا. Until there will be no scholars left, people, they will start following ignorant people, taking them as an example, and they will misguide themselves and misguide the people. So wallah, brother, every trial and tribulations that we are facing our time, guess what? There is a solution for it in the Quran and the Sunnah. You know? Subhanallah. Clearly, you know? I just want to mention something because I think I misunderstood you, just want to clarify.
Yeah.
When you say there's no compulsion of religion, that verse speaking about someone outside.
Yes.
We're not allowed to force no one, you know? But Islamically, not if someone wants to live Islam, because this is very important, I have to speak about it, you know? If someone wants to live Islam from these guys, yeah? They can't, in a Muslim country, you know, even a Muslim country, if you do it without speaking openly, no, you know?
Otherwise,
but openly, you know what is? Yes, why openly? Openly, because you're gonna cause harm between the people in the society. You're gonna cause greater harm. So what they're gonna do?
That would become an apostate. Right?
That's what I'm saying. That's some apostate. You know, it's gonna cause greater harm. Because if you, and what, you're gonna become an enemy of the state. You know, if you really,
Which is a form of treason.
that's it. You see what I'm saying? Which is that, you know. So that's why there's no compulsion outside. Yes, you're not allowed to force no one to become a Muslim. I hope that is clear.
Cool. All right. No,
Is that clear so far?
Yeah, it was pretty much.
Alhamdulillah,
What I
man.
could say anyway.
Are you far from
Just wanted
where,
to-
Shepherd's Bush?
Shepherd's Bush.
Are you far from it?
I can get there.
Yeah, we have classes, akhi. Come. We have, alhamdulillah, class, our class for free. Arabic class, Quran classes, Aqidah class, all the class free. Alhamdulillah, you come, you are more than welcome, inshallah ta'ala. You know, there's a class today, even today I have a class at, you know,
I'm pretty sure, what is it, Hammersmith and City Line, something like that?
yeah, mashallah. I mean, you know, I'm always late for my class, but today I'm not late. I'm not late. You know, many videos you hear Shamsi, I'm late for my class, I have to go. Anyway, wallahi. And my students, not my students, the brothers that I study with them together, they always say, Shamsi, where are you? Are you speaking Skona? You're supposed to be in the masjid, you know? So my class 7 o'clock, the book that I'm doing today is a book about how to deal with the disobedience and the sins. You see, the outcome of sins, basically to do with spirits, with our spiritual way, you know? Because, you know, this dunya is one day we have to live here, bro. Wallahi, man, this dunya, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jibreel came to him. He said, oh, ya Muhammad. He said, Allah has sent me to you. Either you become a king, Allah will grant you that you become a king and He gives you everything. And or you be poor, one day you have food. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if I don't remember the word exactly, he said, what is the outcome of both of them? He said, both of them is death. You be king or not a king, you're going to die. He said, I prefer to be one day poor and one day I have food because I want to be always grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, you see the dunya was given to him alayhi salam. That's why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, the example of me is the example of a traveler who was traveling and he had to go under the tree just for shade. Then he left the tree. Abdullah ibn Umar, this was narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar, you know. Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah please with him, you can see the hadith had impact on him. He goes on to say, he said, فَإِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الْمَسَاءِ. Then he goes on to say, if you wake up in the morning, don't expect to live till the evening. And if you live until the evening, don't expect to live to the morning. Subhanallah, look the hadith how impact the Sahaba. There's one of the Sahaba, he had Prophet Muhammad said, make sure you give water, give water to your wife in a cup, you make her drink, yeah? When they told him the hadith, he said once, wait for me. He went inside the house, 10 minutes he came back, said, what you did? He said, I want to implement the hadith. I picked up a water, I put in a cup, and I give it to drink it to my wife. That's why Allah raised those people. They didn't study not in universities, but they spread justice and civilization around the world. You know, there's a program, it was done by one of the ladies from Oxford University. I forgot her name, but you should watch it. It's a deep program. And you know what? She's speaking based upon discovered manuscripts that was discovered in Spain, Andalusia, and in Britain. Because one of the founders of Oxford University, he had an impact by Islamic civilization when he went to Toledo, which is in Spain, you know, because of the Islamic civilization there. Yeah. Even when he went to Paris, one of the founders of Oxford University, when he went to Paris, I'm mocking them, he said, these people, they're backwards. When he went to Andalusia, he said, these people live a different world. He said, why? Because we followed the Quran and the Sunnah at that time. The reason that we have been humiliated, because we turned away from the teaching of Islam and we forgot about our main purpose to be here. You know? Alhamdulillah. So may Allah give us a good end, man.